Lean is law, bro. The truth is, bro, lean is law. I have been training and been in this fitness space for around 5 years, and my physique looks the best when I am at my leanest. That is the truth. Now, we don't want to get too lean because from my experience and from most other people's experiences, when you get too lean, you destroy your hormones, you feel horrible, your Johnson stops working, your energy levels are really bad, your sleep gets worse, etc. We don't want to get too lean, right? But yeah, it would be nice to have some abs. It would be nice to have some bicep veins. It would be nice to have a nice aesthetic physique, and that is going to occur when we get lean enough. By the way, before I get into this, in my description is the links to my aesthetic body course and my one-to-one online coaching. Go and check those out. They will change your life if you actually let them, basically. So yeah, anyway, lean is law. What does that mean? Well, it just means being lean is good, right? You want to be lean to look good, to have an aesthetic physique. What makes an aesthetic physique is being lean, but also having muscle, right? But we're going to go over how to get lean, how to be lean, all right? Muscle, easy. You just go to the gym, eat protein, be consistent, you'll start building muscle, right? But being lean is a little bit different. Let me explain how you can do it. Now, if you are fat, you need to cut, all right? If your body fat percentage is too high, then yeah, you're not lean. So what you need to do is you need to be in a calorie deficit. The way to burn fat, there's no certain foods, there's no certain exercises that burn fat. It is just being in a calorie deficit day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. What that means is, right now, you have a caloric maintenance, right? You have a certain amount of calories you need to eat in a day to stay at the same weight. Now, we don't want to stay at the same weight, do we? Because we want to drop body fat. So we want to go 300 to 500 calories underneath our calorie maintenance. It's really easy to find out your calorie maintenance. Just go online. You could do that simply. No, we just need to stick to that, right? That's it. We just need to make sure we are in that calorie deficit. Now, we don't want to be in too big of a calorie deficit because that means we will be losing too much muscle mass. We want to be losing the weight just from body fat. Now, your body does prioritize taking off weight from your body from stored body fat because, that's stored energy all around your body and it doesn't need it as much as it needs muscle. But if your deficit is too big, then it will start taking energy from muscles. It will start allowing you to move about like this because it's taking muscle, all right? It's not just taking fat. So we need to make sure we're training and we don't have a crazy severe deficit to make sure we're not taking all of our muscle mass when we are losing this body fat, right? So the first step, find out what your calorie deficit is, right? Now, what is the diet you need? There's so many different diets you can do to lose weight. A lot of them are effective. I personally think the most sustainable diet is the 80-20 diet or the 70-30 diet, right? This is just where you eat the real whole foods, the one ingredient foods, the good foods, the meat, the eggs, the fruit, the vegetables, the grains, 70-80% of the time. And then 20-30% of your calories goes to the processed foods, the junk foods, the artificial foods, the foods that taste really good, right? Because we don't want to have all of those foods. We don't want all of our calories to come from those foods because they're low in protein, really high in calorie, we'll feel hungry throughout the day, less energy. But if we have a fraction of our calories going to those things, it feels a lot more sustainable, less restrictive, and you're more likely to make progress. So yeah, stick to the 70-30, 80-20 diet, and it's actually going to be better for you in the long run, from my personal experiences, than it will be if you just stick to a 100% whole food diet or a carnivore diet, vegan diet, whatever, right? Because we have to account for these times you're going to go out with your friends and order a pizza, go out, have a chocolate bar when you're craving one. That's fine, all right? But just make sure you fit it into your calories. This is the beauty of tracking your calories. Every time you eat a meal, you just track it, right? And then by the end of the day, you need to make sure you have ate those calories or you haven't gone over the calories, your calorie deficit total, right? So you could technically maybe have 1,000 calories of just protein and hit your protein goals for the day, and then have 1,000 calories from a pizza. And because you're 2,000 calories, which is your deficit, for example, you're still going to lose weight, right? And you're still going to be maximizing muscle potential. So yeah, that's just a little side point. Track your calories. It will allow you to have more of the junk foods, right? And that's great. That'll make you feel less restricted and make more progress in the long run, right? So you're in the calorie deficit, you're eating this diet, great. Now you just need to be consistent with it. And I would suggest weighing yourself week to week. If you are in a deficit, you're going to be losing weight. Simple as that. If the weight isn't going down, sure, like 1 week, if the weight stands still, do another week of the same thing. If it doesn't go down again, then you need to, decrease calories or increase physical expenditure. But if you're losing weight, that means you're in your calorie deficit. Simple as that, right? So make sure you are in your deficit, you're staying consistent. It will get to a point where you've lost quite a bit of weight, and now your old calorie deficit has become your new calorie maintenance. If you're losing a lot of weight, this could genuinely happen, right? So that means the weight stops going down the scale because you're now at your maintenance. You're now at the calories you need to stay at the same weight. But if you want to continue losing weight and get to the goal weight you have, you need to reduce your calories even more to continue to be in a calorie deficit, to continue to lose weight, okay? So we've gone over the food you need to be eating and how much, so you need to find out your calorie deficit, right? And then the other thing you need to do is some sort of cardio. Now, I'm not saying you need to go do cardio like running or swimming or anything like that. I just mean increase your physical expenditure, right? So you're taking some calories from your diet. That's you taking the calories from the diet. But then we also want to increase the movement, right? We want to move more. What does that mean? Well, maybe get to 12,000 steps every single day, right? If you're being honest with yourself, you probably get around 5,000 steps a day just from your normal activities. That's not enough. If we're trying to lose quite a bit of weight and also be healthy, we need to increase our steps a little bit. So increase your steps, 10 to 12,000. That will be really good. You will be in a very good deficit. You will be dropping body fat, right? Now, the reason I say to track steps, and I think it's superior to doing cardio when it comes to just losing weight. Remember, you do want to improve your heart health, so doing other forms of cardio is very good. But for losing weight, I think steps is the best, right? Because getting steps in, it's really easy. It doesn't require too much friction, right? If you just go on a walk, I mean, like, it doesn't really feel like you're working out. I mean, some people it might. If you're 600 pounds, it's going to be, difficult to do. But if you're someone who's already like kind of overweight, it's okay. Like, it's not too bad to, put your earphones in, go for a nice stroll through the woods. It's nice, right? It's like, it's kind of like activity, a nice activity out instead of it being a type of cardio. But really just increasing your steps to maybe 10 to 12,000, that has a profound effect. You're doubling your physical expenditure, right? So that's great. Make sure you get your steps in. Me personally, I could never stick to cardio. Now, a quick story for you. I dropped around 8 kg, and I did do that through using the stepper machine. Now, that's a great machine if you want to drop body fat, right? Because, it's a good way to burn calories. But for me, it took so much discipline that once I'd finished the diet, the cut, whatever, I just gained all of the weight back, and I couldn't stick to the step machine. It was just too difficult. Cardio has always been difficult for me to stick to. So I just stick to getting the steps in. Moving around, just walking has felt so easy to me. And it's just, I'm burning calories, right? So I will be, listening to some music and I'll just walk. Like, it's so easy. Maybe after every meal, make it an active habit to go for a walk. You have 5 meals a day. You go for a 10-minute walk after each one. That's 50 minutes of walking you weren't doing, right? So that's a lot of calories. So, yeah, I think increasing your step goal is the best thing to do if you want to lose weight. But if you want your heart to be even healthier, get the good amount of steps in, but also maybe 150 minutes a week, do some steady state cardio. That's going to be really good for your heart. And remember, your heart is the most important muscle. We're all about biceps, triceps, chest, whatever. But remember, your heart is what is keeping you alive. So make sure you train it. Add some years onto your life. Isn't that great? Probably doing 150 minutes of cardio is going to improve your life dramatically. It's going to make sure you live on this planet for longer, most likely, right? So do it. It doesn't have to be too difficult. Pick a form of cardio you enjoy. But for weight loss specifically, I would just say get your steps in. It's easy. It's simple. Whenever you're, even if you're just at home on a weekend, you're on your phone, right? Just walk around your house, walk around your apartment, walk around the block, wherever. If you're going to scroll, you might as well do something with it, right? So that's just me personally. I'm always thinking in that way. I'm always thinking about how can I just do something? How can I multitask while moving about a little bit, right? Even in this video, I'm trying to move about more, right? Because, I know it's going to be good, increasing my physical expenditure, meaning I'm burning more calories. And remember, losing weight simply just comes down to the law of thermodynamics, calories in, calories out. If you eat more calories than you expend, you're going to gain weight. But if you eat less calories than you expend, you're going to lose weight. That's simple. That's just how it is. That is the whole science behind it. That's it, right? If that, again, there's no food, there's no certain exercise which burns more fat, right? It's simply just down to a calorie deficit. And the best way to get into that is to take calories from your diet and to increase physical expenditure. Now, I would suggest not taking, so what a lot of people do is, right, they will take all of their calories from the diet. They'll get in 1,000 calorie deficit, but they'll take it all from their diet. So they end up on 1,500 calories a day. You're going to be starving. That's why. And then also some people, they will not reduce their calories, their caloric intake in any way, but they'll just do loads of physical expenditure or do loads of more movement, right? I don't think that's the best way to do it, right? Because if you're moving more, you're more likely to maybe get injured. And if you're taking all your calories from your diet, well, then that means you're going to be really hungry and more likely to overeat, binge, and make less progress. So I personally think take from both. Take some calories from your diet, not too much, right? You want to still feel full, you want to feel good. And then also take some or expend some calories moving. Do both, right? That's going to increase your probability of sticking to it and not feeling too restricted, etc. That's personally what I believe. Now, when it comes to your diet as well, I would suggest try your best to eat the highest volume, less calorically dense foods. So say you're about to go have a meal of chicken and rice, right? You've tracked out the macros, it's 500 calories. You could literally smush like so much lettuce or like, I don't know, like vegetables into that. And it's like an extra 100 calories, but you're going to feel so much more full. So use those foods that are very voluminous, but they're not very calorically dense. You can eat a lot of it and you'll feel full up. Use things like jelly, use things like diet soda, use those things not as crutches, but as tools to allow you to get to your goal, right? It's going to get to a point where you've been cutting for a while and you're starting to get quite hungry. That's pretty normal. What I would say to that is maybe just have a few more Diet Cokes a day. It has caffeine, makes you feel full up, carbonation, makes you feel full up, or have, 1 or 2 black coffees a day. It's going to make you feel full up. Remember, the reason most people cheat on their diets and their diet does not work is because those diets are too restrictive, right? They are too hungry. And so they just eat, and they binge, and then they're like, well, I've just binged, I might as well just quit my diet now. So yes, there will be times where you overeat your calories. That is fine, right? Just get back on track. Or if you've really gone for one day, say you've just binged loads and you're like, damn, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm on a diet, crazy. What you could do is just see your caloric goal as a week thing, not a daily thing, right? So you might be thinking, all right, 2,500 calories a day. If I don't hit 2,500 calories a day, it's horrible, I'm not losing weight. How about think of it in a weekly sense? Say 2,500 calories a day is like 18,000 calories a week. What that means is one day you might eat 5,000 calories. And that's actually fine because for the rest of those days, you just divide it in a way so you end up on those 18,000 calories by the end of the week. You're not overdoing it. So yeah, if one day you binge a little bit, that is fine. It's not going to be horrible for your progress because that one day you're in a surplus, but for the rest of those days, you're on a slightly bigger deficit than normal. And then you've ended up losing that weight, right? Or you're continuing to stick to your deficit. So don't be too concerned if you binge. I binged on my cut and I lost over 15 kg. Sometimes it happens, right? You're not a robot. Sometimes your discipline, it's not amazing. You slip up, right? It's a mistake. Just see it in that sense. See it as a weekly sense, right? Some days you might be hungrier than other days. Eat 3,000 calories on one day, eat 2,000 calories on another when you're not as hungry. But just end up on the 18,000 calories, for example, or your caloric goal for the week, right? Don't always see it in a daily thing. Because for me, I would always say I need to hit 2,500 calories today. But it will be a day where I'm really hungry, right? Or expend more calories that day, so I need more food. So one day I'll go, okay, I'll eat 3,000 calories because I'm doing a bit more movement. And then tomorrow I'll have 2,000 calories and I'm doing a little bit less movement, right? So that's it. That is how to get lean. And that is why it's so important to be lean, because it makes your physique look so good. And, you'll build an amazing aesthetic physique. And yeah, just simple as that. Now, in the description, there are those 2 links. One is to my aesthetic body course. This is all of my advice, all of my knowledge on how to build an aesthetic physique and get in the best shape of your life. I promise you, if you actually put your all into trying to learn your absolute hardest, you will get an amazing physique in the years coming, right? It's going to take a bit of hard work, a bit of dedication. You're going to have to really learn and think, but you will get there. You're going to add years to your life, right? You're going to live on this planet for longer. You're going to be able to look in the mirror finally and smile. And everything, every aspect of your life will improve once you get into shape. Coming from personal experience, your relationships will improve, your mood will improve, you'll do better in your career, you'll get better grades because you're learning the skill of discipline, and that skill of discipline can be extrapolated to all areas of life, which is why building an aesthetic physique is literally the foundation of all growth on this journey if you're trying to become the best version of yourself. So go and check that course out. It will change your life completely if you let it. The other link goes to my one-to-one coaching. You can hop on a call with me for an hour. It's dirt cheap, right? Hop on a call with me for an hour. I will give you any personalized advice, knowledge. Like, I'll treat you like a case study on what you need to do to get in the best shape of your life, to build your dream physique. I will answer every single question you have about fitness, and I will get you into the best shape of your life if you listen to my advice and you actually take action, right? Those links will be the best thing you've ever clicked on, and you will get in the best shape of your life if you let me teach you, all right? Go and check those out. Links in the description. Boom.